So earlier on in my career, when I first started, one of the things that I focused on the most was being really good at the skill of SEO and digital marketing as a whole. And that got me pretty far, but it wasn't the skill that allowed me to make the most money that I've made in digital marketing even to this day. And I started to realize what I was lacking when I was put into certain environments where I would have to basically showcase my work. And the number one thing that held me back from being able to really command the amount of money that I wanted in a role was my communication skills. For whatever reason, and I think it's because I worked security for so long, I'm not sure, but when it was always time for me to explain certain things or explain certain ideas, and I would sit down and try to explain, or stand up and try to explain it in front of people, I couldn't get the thoughts in my head out. Like I knew what I wanted to say, but I couldn't, like it was as if my brain wasn't organized and the information that I had wasn't truly processed correctly. And there also was some level of maybe misunderstanding exactly what I wanted to communicate to people. And so when I started to realize that, that was the thing that was really holding me back, because it was hard to demonstrate how much I knew about what I was doing because I couldn't speak, right? And there's been so many times where, especially like, oh my God, so many times in corporate where I've been way more intelligent about something than somebody else. And because they were better at speaking and articulating themselves than me, they basically they outshined me, and I was looked upon as less competent than they were. And so like this was just something that I really, really started to realize, and I worked on to become better. And that's why when you hear me speak now, like I'm a way better communicator than what I was. But at the time I really wasn't good. I was really bad. Honestly, I was so bad at communicating. I remember I had this guy who, he wasn't really my manager, but so basically a long time ago when I was working for this insurance agency doing marketing for them, I had never really, my skill set wasn't like Facebook ads or anything like that. It was really just search marketing. But I took on the role because I thought that I could do it. And I wouldn't say I was terrible at it. Like I was making some progress. But there was this guy who had his own business, who owned his own marketing insurance agency and did his own marketing. And the company that I was working at basically convinced him to come work with us. And by the way, before I get like super deep into this, spoiler alert, like the number one thing that you're missing if you're watching this whole thing is communication skills. And I had to hire like a communications coach to work on this. It's not something that you learn overnight, but I have all the frameworks. I paid like $6,000 and spent so many hours with that guy in developing my communication skills that if you want to do the same thing, just join my newsletter and I'll send you some frameworks, and also a Discord group where you can join and we can talk about this stuff. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So this guy, he had so much experience running his own ads because he was a founder of a company, specifically an insurance agency. And the target demographic that we were targeting was so specific. It was elders, right? That didn't even know how to use computers and stuff like that. So that made it even harder. And because this guy had some experience, even though I knew he wasn't really that good because of like how he would communicate ideas and stuff like that, to me as a marketer who knew what I was doing, I knew for sure that this guy wasn't that good at Facebook ads at the time. But no one ever listened to me because I couldn't say what I wanted to say, or I would freeze up when I was speaking. And I don't know if it was, I don't think it was necessarily a confidence issue. It was just more so, I think when I was working security, it just messed up my ability to communicate, honestly. I think being isolated for so long is what really caused me to have that issue. But because of that, it always made me look bad. It always made me look like I wasn't good, and it made me look like I didn't know what I was doing. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is the thing that you might be pondering in your head right now when you're asking yourself how you can make more money in digital marketing is you might be wondering if you're good enough at the skill. And you probably are, right? It's probably not the lack of your ability to perform the skill that's holding you back. It's probably the soft skills that's holding you back. And the reason why I say this is because I meet so many digital marketers that remind me of myself that struggle with communication. They don't realize the importance of it because no one has ever told them that they struggle with it. And then they wonder why people don't look at them to, as a leader, right? And so, like, if you want to be looked at as a leader in any corporate position or any position in general, you have to be good at articulating yourself, like, for sure. And it can't just be off of preparation. For example, I'm recording this video right now, and I'm saying and stuff like that, but that's because I'm just going off the top of my head. I'm literally just talking to the camera and telling you what's coming on my mind. And the only way that you get better at this is through practice. But you have to know what the right practice and the right frameworks are for you to practice, right? But I say this just to say that, I wish that there was someone that told me this back then. You're probably, like I said, I'm going to reiterate, you're probably already good enough at the skill. The skill is not the problem. You need to work on your communication skills. You need to be able to present and show people that you know what you're talking about. And you have to be able to demonstrate, taking like complex ideas and making them simple for not just like other SEOs or paid search specialists to understand, but also for your client and also for executives that you might report to understand, because they might not understand this stuff. And honestly, that's the primary example that should tell you why this stuff is important, because most of the people who are above you probably don't know as much about everything within the weeds than you do, right? And you're probably wondering, well, I have to tell this person everything. How did they get this job? It's because they have the other skills, which is the soft skills, the ability to communicate, and all that other stuff. So that's what you need to focus on. Okay, that's why I made this video. I want you to know that that's what you need to focus on. Anyways, if you feel like you're struggling with this and you need help, definitely join my newsletter. I'm going to be sending out more information about this. And also, join the Discord group. I have a link to the Discord below. And I'm also launching a WAP community soon, which is going to cost $50 a month, where I'll help you learn how to develop this skill so that you can get the money that you want. For $50 a month, I can teach you a skill that can make you $100,000 a year, right? It's a no-brainer. But anyways, I'm not here to sell you anything. I just want you to know that at the end of the day, if this is probably what your issue is. And I wish somebody told me this, because I thought that my issue was not being good enough at the skill, but it's not that. And now that I'm like really good at the skill, I realize it was never that. It was just my ability to communicate. That's it. Peace.